Hey guys, this is Carnivore5, and today I have another video for you explaining Inside Edge and give you a few pointers as well. So I plan to do a couple budget videos and give you guys some tips on who to invest in, and I'm kind of going to talk about how Inside Edge works and yeah, just go into a little bit more detail about it. So first, if you're at the Diamond Dynasty main menu, they actually have their own daily matchup rating powered by Inside Edge. So I don't know the exact time when this thing is supposed to update it, but it is every 24 hours, and I want to say it updates usually around midnight. I don't even know if it's this later, but it's usually like around 10 or 11 on the East Coast, 10 or 11 p.m. on the East Coast, usually like after the games are over or so. Because I know today Carlos Martinez had like a +6 or so boost, and because he pitched today. But now for the Cardinals tomorrow, Adam Wainwright is pitching, so I'll show you guys that. But yeah, if you guys just go to this Inside Edge tab, you can see who has like the best trends and their new overall, and you can just scroll through the pages. Sometimes it is glitchy and it will bug out, but it looks like it's working okay. And I will give you guys some real advice here. Like, this thing is very helpful, and I usually change up my bullpen every day based on who's hot or not. And then if you look on the like for John Jaso, and if you look at the right side there, it says Inside Edge matchup information. Jaso is slugging .605, hitting .342 against pitchers with similar repertoire as Jugman in the last 2 years. So a couple things what they based off their Inside Edge matchup information on. For one, they're going to look right at the matchups. If Jaso hits Jugman directly really well, they'll just have that on there. If not, some other things they can do is pitchers with similar repertoire is what they do there. They can also do like Jugman. I don't know if he's considered a middle tier or a lower ranked tier pitcher. They might have Jaso hits lower ranked tier right-handed throwers very well. They also are supposed to have like hot and cold trends. So say Jaso is 10 for 20 in his last 6 games, they might just automatically give him a boost regardless of who he's facing. And now I know they also do trends based on day and night games and ballparks they're playing in, and maybe even months in which they do well. I mean, it's going to be a lot of different things. I know right now it's kind of general, and it gives you some of these vague descriptions. But trust me, there are reasons for that. It's because the season just started, and some of these pitchers are really new in the league, so they don't have much of a sample size to base that off as. So a few things here. Again, we can look through all this. Make sure you guys always check this out daily. It's definitely a great way to build your team and get good budget players. But first, let me clear up a few things. Now, when you guys are feeding your players, the Inside Edge does not affect it, okay? So, say I want to feed my players. I don't even know if I have anybody. Well, we should. We should have some guys affected by Inside Edge. Like, straight right here, Brandon Finnegan, if I want to feed him. He's -4 today, but it's not going to go based off those attributes. It's going to go based off his base attributes when I feed him. So don't worry if you have somebody that's negative and you want to feed, or if you're trying to wait until they have a big jump to feed. It doesn't matter. It's based off their base attributes. So just wanted to clear that up. And secondly, the pitchers are only going to get, starting pitchers that is, they're only going to get Inside Edge, boost or downgrade on the days they're pitching. Makes sense, right? So Carlos Martinez, I had him in my rotation yesterday. Now I might put Adam Wainwright in there since he is a 96. And let's look at what his boosts are in. It's always going to be per 9s, guys. That's it. It's never going to be in attributes like velo or fielding, clutch control, break. The pitches are going to stay roughly the same. You just want to go for pitchers that already have good stuff and stuff that you like, because the only thing that's going to change are their per 9s. So Adam Wainwright has a +6 today, and he has +8 and everything. So that means his per 9s, more specifically his hits per 9 and K per 9, are some things I value a lot. Those are going to be in the 70s, which is really good on this game. And what that does, his per 9 and K per 9, is it shrinks your opponent's PCI, and it allows them to, or it negates their contact, and it will also, give them more swing and miss opportunities. Like if there's a borderline pitch and they're not exactly on it. So for Adam Wainwright, when he's at 64 K per 9, they might be able to foul that off, but with his upgraded K per 9, they might swing and miss now. So those are some things that his per 9 and K per 9 do. Watch per 9 just helps you control the ball better, and it gives you more consistency with your accuracy. And home runs per 9 does absolutely nothing. I might make some videos breaking those down more in depth and detail, but yeah, I just want to explain that for starters. So they're only going to get boosts on the days they pitch. Secondly, relievers are every single day because they're relievers and they can pitch every single day. This is pretty much how I fix my bullpen every day. I look who has favorable matchups, because I really think since I'm in the CS now and it's on Hall of Fame difficulty, PCI size does matter. So if you can shrink your opponent's PCI as much as possible, plus have good stuff, it's crucial. Like, I always use Brett Cecil. He always has favorable matchups. As a 5-star matchup, he has +12s and everything. So he's a good lefty to have in your bullpen. So closers, same thing. Now these players, position players, it's a little different. We'll look at Kendrys Morales. He's +10 and everything. So regardless if they're scheduled to play or start that day, or even if they're hurt, this will still affect them. So just keep that in mind, and I'll verify that. I think what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to send the players to the minors before they can no longer get the inside edge boost or decreases. And we'll look at Johnny Peralta, because I know he's hurt right now, and I just want to show you guys how that's working. So we're going to Cardinals, and okay, right now the inside edge affects him, even though he is not on the active roster because he is hurt on the DL. So yeah, it still does affect players that are hurt. So it can still affect guys like Kyle Schwarber. Now, what won't affect things like Kyle Schwarber are the weekly upgrades and updates. Their weekly roster upgrades. So that's not going to affect him at all. He's still going to stay. I think he's a bronze, so he's just going to stay a bronze because he's pretty much hurt for all year. But the inside edge, at least until they find a way to fix it, it's still going to affect them. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. And same thing for position players. It only affects their contact and power, and it's based off the matchup and what you're facing that day. It's not going to change your defense or speed. So again, my advice is go for guys that already have solid defense and solid speed, and guys that you think are slightly underrated. And again, I'll try to use some more Cardinal players as examples. Generally, Randall Grichuk has favorable matchups just because he has been pretty solid the last 2 years he's been in the league, so he usually has favorable matchups regardless of his overall rating. MLB The Show is pretty conservative in their overall ratings. They don't like to just give silvers and golds right away. So Grichuk's still fairly young in the league. So what this inside edge does, it kind of negates the biases and conservative efforts that San Diego Studios puts towards these rosters, and it kind of fixed itself, I guess you could say. So he has +17 and everything. So even though Grichuk's a bronze, a player like him is going to have favorable matchups nearly every day. So just keep an eye on that. And again, his fielding and speed's not going to change. So that kind of gives me to another point. Players like Kevin Kiermaier for the Rays, somebody I always like to use as an example. He's not necessarily a great hitter, but he's a good player to have because he's always going to have that maxed out defense and good speed. So you don't really have to worry about that affecting, his greatest strengths, his fielding and speed. It's only going to affect his hitting. So you might want to have a player like this on the bench, or just play him anyways, because you're playing a guy like this for defense and speed. But have him maybe not on your bench, but have him in your inventory. That way, when he has favorable inside edge matchups, he can become one of the best cards in the game on that particular day. So go for guys with good fielding and speed, and go for guys that usually hit well, that you think might that are underrated in the game to begin with, like Randall Grichuk perhaps. So yeah, I think that pretty much explains everything about inside edge. Just to rehash, injuries. Even though I talked to Lance even on the podcast, I think they're supposed to fix that. But right now, injuries do not affect inside edge, so guys like Schwarber will still be updated. Starting pitchers only affected by inside edge the day they pitch. Bullpen and positional players are affected daily, regardless if they're injured or if they're even playing that day. So hope you guys learned a thing or two. This is CardinalBird5, and again, if you guys have any questions, you can follow me on Twitter at CardinalBird5. I've been answering a lot of questions regarding inside edge. You can also feel free to comment on the YouTube for this video. I'll try to answer all of you guys' questions. Hope this cleared up some misconceptions. This is CardinalBird5 signing out. Peace.